This is verse 5 of the 9th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. In the midst of the account that Matthew provides of these men who have brought a paralytic to Jesus on a stretcher, and the first thing Jesus says is, "Be of good cheer, your sins are forgiven," which of course precipitates a crisis among the religious leaders who are witnessing this. So Jesus turns his attention to them and asks the question, why are they so concerned, and putting this intriguing question. So we have te, which is the interrogative pronoun. It can mean what or why, depending on context. And then it's here going to be something like which, really. It's posing a question that causes them to choose between two alternatives. So for which, estin, it's third person singular, present active indicative, which is eukopoteron. This is the root of this word, you'll notice, is kopo. This is from kopos. It's a noun. It means a cut. And derived from that is the idea of laboring or toiling, cutting something, like chopping, for example, that kind of thing. The U at the beginning, of course, means good. So good labor is sort of derived from this idiomatically, and from that we get the notion of easier, which is the easier labor is the notion. So it's an adjective, it's in the neuter here, so which is easier. And then the two alternatives, apen, this is from Lego, I say, it's an infinitive, aorist infinitive, to say, so which is easier, to say, aphientai, this is from aphemi, to forgive, third person plural, present passive indicative, so they are forgiven. And then, of course, what is forgiven here is, with the emphasis up front, su, the possessive pronoun, the of you, hi hamartii, the sins of you. So which is easier, to say your sins are forgiven, or the alternative, apen, same as here, to say, agere, from agero, means to rise up. This is the imperative, so second person singular, present active imperative, rise up, kai peripate. Again, this is second person singular, present active imperative. So which one is easier? Of course, it does paint an interesting dilemma. You would say that the more difficult thing to do is to forgive sins unilaterally, but that is an unseen element, so we don't know if that was really effective or not. On the other hand, it's quite notable whether a person rises up and walks. That's actually less difficult in the great scheme of things than forgiving sins, and yet it becomes the proof of the other. And of course, that's precisely what Jesus is doing here. He's performing a rather extraordinary and astonishing miraculous display, precisely to prove the even greater power he has at the unseen level of being able to forgive sins.